Hey guys, welcome to 6 is Overdrive. Today we're at Lloydminster Honda and we're going to go on the Honda demo days. I wanted to bring up one bike that I'm going to show you a little bit about before we even get to the demo rides. And that's this NC750 S. This bike is one of the best selling bikes overseas, but for some reason in Canada and the US, it's not selling so good. But let me tell you, if you want one bike that just about does everything, this is it. Now I know what you're thinking. Usually I'm all about the horsepower and, full off-road packages, but a lot of people just get one bike. And this bike here, it's going to do a lot of things. You can outfit it with all this baggage. You've got an under the tank storage, so you don't have to have all the bags if you want to just drive around town picking up groceries or something, commuting. A thing gets scooter-like gas mileage. I kid you not, like upward around 80, 90 miles to the gallon. It's a little bit different of a power plant, but when we get out on the ride, I'm going to show you a little bit more about that too, and how different it is and how much better that is for going off-road. Okay guys, let's go for a ride. Holy. Okay guys, let me explain a little bit about the NC750 S and X. Now these bikes were developed by Honda as a new style of bike. And I think when they first came out, you could even get the automatic transmissions in them. They're supposed to be a starter bike that makes everybody instantly feel at home on them. They have storage all over the bike so you could commute around them. They came in at a great price point. I'll put that price point up on the YouTube channel here, somewhere right in there, right across the middle. I guess that won't be the middle, maybe this will be the middle, right? So we'll do that. And the weird thing about this bike is it rides a lot like a cruiser, whereas it's a V-twin and the torque is all way down low. So here we are guys, this bike is designed as a beginner's bike, but you can cruise down the highway all day long and feel comfortable. Like as far as an off-road bike such as the, say, DR or KLR 650s, the singles, this one is infinitely more comfortable. The center of balance is really low, and you meet other traffic, it doesn't buffet you all over the place. It's not tall right up in the wind. It's a very, very comfortable bike. Of course, it would not be as good off-road as the two of those. We're not going to test this off-road just because, it's a Honda test ride event. So we're just going to keep it on the highway here and a little bit through town. But right now, I'm doing over 110 kilometers an hour, which I shouldn't do. I'm barely over. But it just wants to keep going higher than that. So this bike is a bike for a beginner that you could actually take on a freeway or on long trips and be completely comfortable with. Also, because of the low center of gravity, it's a breeze to ride in town. Like this thing, corner cars are the best of them. The one thing you're gonna have to get used to is the short shifts. This is not a sport bike. It is not for racing around. It's got decent power, but all the power is down low and it just seems to run out of steam up above. So there's no point in winding out the throttle. What you get is what you get. So you drive around, you're faster than the cars, but you're not gonna outrace anybody basically on this bike unless they're driving a little beginner bike like a 125 or 250. It just ain't gonna happen, guys. This bike overseas, like we're talking like Pakistan, India, Russia, in the UK, this bike just about outsells everything else combined. Like it is a great seller, and we don't sell very many of them down here. And I think the reason is because we're used to our high displacement, high horsepower bikes. And as soon as we go to a starter bike, it seems like we encourage everybody to start out on a 125 or 250 or on a scooter. That seems to be our commuter type bikes. Well, let me tell you something, guys. This thing is narrow. It fits in between traffic. It zips in and out of traffic really nice. It's got all the power that you're going to have on those other bikes. It's way heavier, but it doesn't feel way heavier. This bike feels literally like it's a 300-pound bike or so until you get on the highway, and then you realize, you know, it's up in the higher weight ranges. It just carries itself so well because the weight is all down low. Very easy to touch the ground on, but yet it's spaced out decently enough for a tall rider. You can't tell right now, but it has been raining all day here, and most of yesterday too, so the roads are all of a sudden dry, but you can't tell like that it had been raining. Matter of fact, it looked a lot like London this morning. It had so much fog in the air and moisture. I'm just hoping my camera isn't fogging up. Okay, we're coming up to our first corner, guys. This is a real nice little test of what a bike can do for cornering, and then we'll accelerate out of it and see how quick we get back up to speed. I'm not going to go too fast, guys, because this bike here will grind pegs pretty quick. So that's red line already there, guys. But we're back up to speed. And then we drop it into 6th gear, and everybody's happy. Pass a big semi with the wind against us, it barely moves us. It's really stable. You can tell you've been on way too many demo rides when they start letting you lead the demo ride when you're not even a paid employee. I do it for you, boys and girls, I do it for you. So I'll tell you what to expect and what not to expect out of this bike. Okay, if you're planning to go around the world and be comfortable all the time, get great gas mileage, nice range, be able to carry all your luggage, tents, whatever you want, this is a great bike. If you're starting out, just learning, this is a great bike. Easy, super easy to ride, super easy to turn, very neutral. If you want a comfortable bike that has your legs below you so that you can support yourself in the case of a bump, you can stand up on this bike, and the riding position is really nice. The seat is beautiful as well. If you want something like that, then this is a bike for you. Now, if you're expecting to do extreme off-road, not gonna happen. It's too low to the ground, and the smaller front tire makes it a little bit rough. If you're planning to do gravel roads, off-road, minor, you know, single or double laned roads, quad trails, stuff like that, you can do on this thing. I just wouldn't be wanting to do extreme hill climbs or any boulder hopping or anything like that. Just isn't made for it. I would put it in the same class off-road as the V-Strom, the 650 V-Strom. I seem to have lost just about everybody else on this trip. I wonder if I'm going too fast for the Grom. One of the guys that driving the Grom and we're on a highway road trip. Hilarious. Yeah, maybe I'm not the best leader. Where the heck could they be?
I don't know.
I thought they were behind the one truck, and then I turned off the road and that thing turned off the road and I looked back and there was nobody. Yeah, there they are. So guys, it looks like we lost everybody. We're flagging them down here. I guess I'm not the best demo rider. Everybody's completely out of sorts of what's going on here, so oh well, I try, right? They must have got stopped at a traffic light. Classic. Here we go. Feel the power. Actually, you're not going to feel very much power there. That's what I was talking about, guys. A lot of you saw me ride the Super Duke 1290. This is not that bike. How'd you like to do the rest of the demo ride riding behind this semi? Nah, just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you. Do you see how they had this bike decked out in the intro video? We got the ride and fog lights for nighttime driving on trails. We got the nice set of panniers that are removable. The racks are also removable. These are the nice racks, guys, that you can just clip on and clip off with a simple turn of a hex wrench, I think they are. But you only give them like a full turn to one direction and they just clip out. So when you're not going on a long trip, you can take the racks and the bags all off in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes. It's wonderful. It's the way to do it. Oh my goodness, rocks everywhere. Flippin' A. Yes, sir. Off and running like a herd of turtles. I'm gonna give you my final evaluation. This bike is the perfect all-arounder. And I've heard a lot of reviews talking about the torquey motor and everything being great for off-road. And they're right. Like, this thing has power whenever you want it. There's no sudden surges. It's just a beautiful flat torque curve all the way around. So this bike is super easy for just about anybody to pick up and ride. I think it's a great bike. It should be selling way better in Canada here. Like, between this and a cruiser, there's not a whole lot of difference in speed. And your cornering's way easier. In my opinion, the bike is more comfortable because your feet are below you, you're in an upright position, your back's in a good position for a long day's ride. There's no pressure on your wrists. It's a perfect riding position. And you can go off-road, which is next to impossible on a cruiser. The things are about 5 inches off the ground and you're going to be banging and scraping everything, and the last thing you want to do is drop it. Now, here's my knock against it, and I know why it's not selling a little bit. It's not exciting. A lot of people get into motorcycling because it's exciting. It's the thrill of the ride, the thrill of the power, and this bike does not have that. This bike is the yin and yang of motorcycles. In this price category, you're not going to find too many with better options. Like, you even get a fuel gauge, you get tells you what gear you're in, how fast you're going. It's got multiple trips on it. Like, what a nice setup. Like, it's really nice. Everything's right at your fingertips. It's the easiest thing to get used to in the world. But the only knock I'm going to give it is the excitement factor is just not there. And let me tell you, you can be in a hurry in this bike. Like, you could easily break the speed limit and go somewhere if you wanted to. If you got into the twisties, there's not too many bikes that are going to pull away from you unless you're talking about a racing bike. So, you know, as far as handling goes, it's a great handling bike. It's way better on in-town roads than just about everything. The travel of the suspension's a little bit longer, soaks up bumps with ease, and your handlebars are nice and wide so you can whip in and out of traffic. Anybody who wants to own just one bike, I'd highly recommend this bike. Highly, very highly, for the price range that it's in and the amount that you get for that price. And it's an astonishing bike, really, in balance. Okay, this is how this bike is actually meant to be ridden. Where you just lug it nice and low and save on gas and keep up with the traffic. Nobody's going to be ahead of you as far as cars. It's got plenty of power to zip in and out. That's not an issue at all. Look at the bumps, the way it handles the bumps here, guys. How many of you guys on your sport bikes, on your GSXRs and sport bikes, you know, CBRs, whatever, just about want their wrists to fall off when they hit something like that in their spine. Same with you guys on your Sportsters and your Harleys where your legs are all out in front of you. This thing handles that stuff like it's sweet candy. I highly recommend it, unless you're a thrill seeker and you want a sport bike or something with a lot of horsepower and thrills and excitement.